All right. What is going on, YouTube? We are back. Not the typical setup that we're usually doing with, the gym vlogs and, being in Social Candy. But, the videos, I just wanted to kind of give you guys a quick update. I know they've been kind of lacking a little bit. I've been basically having to play catch up because of vacation. So if you guys don't know already, basically, I filmed after I get back from Colorado, but I think I might have addressed it in the video, but if I didn't, we're back. We're getting a lot more consistent on the vlogs. I basically had to get a bunch of things figured out after I got back from vacation because it was just like life on fast mode basically. But we are 8 weeks out, slightly under 9 weeks out. Not quite 8.5 weeks out yet, but we're definitely improving day by day. Like we basically did 9 full days to kind of catch you guys up. We did 9 full days of like feeding up, where basically my weight was the lowest it was on like the day before leaving the vacation, which was like I think it was 206.5, and I was flat, but I still had a little bit of fullness, like relative fullness, and basically we fed up for 9 days straight, and I ended up weighing up to, I think it was like 220.2 or 220.4. It was insane. Basically like 14 pounds of fullness, and still like kept crazy condition. Like there was just a little bit of water that I was holding around like the glutes, but it was still like relatively the same condition, which was just crazy because the training performance shot way up, obviously because of food, and it was just cool because I was like, I'm literally growing into the show. It's kind of a cool, surreal experience. It's not really what I would expected, being the first time in prep, but I think that's like something I'm just learning is like, I'm glad I took this time to wait to dive into prep, and taking a long off season before my first show ever, because it's allowed me to have food high and to not really, I guess, suffer, quote unquote, in this prep environment. I know obviously like with prep, like we're not actually suffering, we're doing this for fun, but there is an element of like when you have calories low and cardio is super high, it's almost like a suffering type of deal, but it's a fun suffering, right? It should be fun. But I haven't even really experienced that really, I guess, quote unquote suffering aspect of prep yet. Because food's just been so high. I literally haven't gone really below 3,000 calories up until this point. Now being that we're 9 weeks out, we're trying to kind of push down a little bit, get a little bit tighter, and really just like, again, this is the hardest push I've done all prep, and it's still like relatively high food. Like we're 2,800 calories. Cardio got bumped up a little bit, but it's still like it's still really doable. It's 400 cardio calories 5 times a week, and then no cardio. I still actually have refeeds in, so I actually still have the same diet plan I was eating for that 9 weeks, or for those 9 days that I was feeding up. So basically, I was eating 4,400 calories those days, close to 700 grams of carbs. So basically, we left that same exact diet in for 2 refeeds per week. So I'm pushing 2,800 calories for 5 days, and then refeeding on Friday and Saturday, and doing no cardio. So that way we can keep my physique full, and keep fat loss going. And it's cool. It's kind of a cool, interesting approach. But again, like I feel so lucky and blessed. I would say blessed to be in this position because I took the time to really put on a solid amount of tissue. Kind of the point I'm getting at here is like, that allowed me to keep food high. I think a lot of guys there's nothing like, I'm not like discarding like any of those like guys who want to like prep, early on and do their first show. But I will say it's going to be a lot harder. I'm actually taking a guy through prep right now. He's 15 weeks out, and we're going to have to push pretty low on calories. And that's just a reality, right? It's not the worst thing in the world, but hey, if you want to actually have a pretty relatively easy prep, again, having more muscle mass helps because it basically means, and not always, but it for a majority of people, when you have more muscle mass, you have to have more calories because the more muscle you're carrying around, that muscle is what's burning calories, right? So again, I feel like because I've waited longer to start like my first prep for my first show, I put on more muscle mass, and it's allowed me to keep food higher, and really just keep fatigue off. I think a lot of guys, that's the other thing too, is like with prep, it's a really a big balancing fatigue in the off season, not off season, but balancing fatigue and prep. That's huge. And by having food high and your body being really responsive because you've been at such high calories before in the off season and you put on so much muscle, that's going to allow you to come in a way more conditioned and just less stressed overall look. It's going to look a lot better on stage. But that's not to say like, hey, if you're doing your first show, like pull out of your first show because you're not gonna, if you're under 200 pounds or something like that, like you're not gonna have a good show experience. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if you want a better experience and you're thinking about prep, and you want, and maybe you're just kind of thinking about it and you're not really like for sure yet, maybe consider waiting, and putting a little more size on. But if you're already in prep and you're thinking about, you're pretty certain on doing your first show, don't like hold back, what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I kind of just like a mental update, feeling really fresh again, really going into this next kind of step into like this little push that we're doing. I'm just mentally fresh. I'm ready to go. Training has been immaculate. This is like the first training day being on lower calories. So I just finished up legs, like an hour and a half ago. Absolutely like crushed legs. Like I hit, I think I hit PRs pretty much all around for quads, which was pretty dope. Adductors at the beginning, the second back off set basically was a little bit harder to keep the same type of performance, but that was like the only thing I really noticed. Hamstrings at the end, I noticed just it was because my quads are so pumped, and when my quads get super pumped, it's almost, you have to almost wait a little bit to hit hamstrings. Not like wait like a bunch of time, but I do notice if I just try to jump right into hamstrings, that's when I feel kind of a little bit tender and like brittle almost. So I took a little bit more time to warm up with hamstrings, even though it wasn't written in my plan to warm up more. I just kind of felt it out, and that's like what I think I needed to do. But yeah, overall, just feeling great. And as far as mindset goes, even deeper, just I feel like I'm in this zone right now where, I got back from vacation. It was kind of a little bit hard to get back on track, like whereas as far as like, not as far as gym performance goes, but as far as like the business goes and managing all that stuff, because it was getting a little bit hectic because I was gone and I had a bunch of things I had to catch up on. But now being caught up on that and staying locked in back with the routine, waking up at the same time every single day, it's like, it just feels so good. I can't explain it. But yeah, I think overall, again, just dealing with consistent challenges that are being faced and asking for challenges, and praying about it, because that's what's going to truly make me a better man. I think when it's really easy to want to just avoid challenge. And I think that's just like everyone's natural response. But if you truly want to be that next version of yourself, you want to truly make something of yourself, whatever it be, and if it be a bodybuilder, if it be, you want to be an artist, you want to be a music producer, you want to be, a football player, right? Being able to deal with challenges, and again, I kind of talked about this before, but going straight through that challenge and accepting it as something that you're grateful for, because it's going to be an opportunity to make you better. Especially if you take those and you face them like head on and you just go for it, instead of like trying to walk around the forest and, take the long way that might be easier, right? When you go into the thick of it, every single time you're going to walk out being a better man or a better woman. And it's hard. Like, I have times where I don't do that. Like, I'm still working at it, but I think that's the biggest thing is, not everyone's perfect, but it comes down to like, hey, are you trying? Are you trying to get better every single day in some sort of aspect in life? And that's kind of what I stand for, right, is being 1% better every single day and having that mindset, because there's going to be days that you slip and fall. And there might be even like periods of like, weeks on end. And I've been there. Like, I literally felt when I got back from this vacation, I was kind of in that mode where I was like, man, I feel like I'm not really getting what I want to get done. Like the training is going great, but I feel like business-wise, like I'm not getting where I want to be. But when you're able to take that and almost take a step back and reflect and have a sense of gratitude for like these challenges, and it almost just brings you to a realization like, hey, I need to level up. And when you're able to keep that mindset of like, I'm gonna at least try. I'm gonna at least try to get better. That's what's truly gonna keep you in the game long term, instead of being one of these people who, just quits, and calls it quits and never comes back to it again. I think it's really easy for people to do that. And, I've even had points like that in my life. And I think looking back, I don't want to ever be that guy again. And so, if that's kind of like a message to leave with, just have some sort of thing that you're working towards. And as long as you keep trying, as long as you get up, and as long as you're actively trying to get better, you might be in a like position right now where it sucks. It feels like everything's caving in on you. You've got car problems, you've got girlfriend problems, boyfriend problems, you got all this, like it feels like the world's caving in, you can't pay your bills. And trust me, I've been in those positions, and I'm honestly in that position right now, like barely being able to make it. Just realize that as long as you keep putting that effort forward, that's what's going to make a big difference. And I think a big part of that for me that's helped me realize that is just my relationship with God. And I don't really talk about it too much on YouTube, but I think like it is a big thing. And having something that you have as your centerpiece of what is guiding you in life, you don't need to be a Christian. I just think like I think there needs to be some sort of spiritual aspect that you're focused on that is guiding you in a sense. Or you're trying to level up yourself spiritually, because that's what's truly going to make you a better person at the end of the day. And that's going to help you have this perspective and this mindset where, hey, I'm going through the thick of it. What matters is I'm going to try to become a better man or woman at the end of the day. So I don't know. I didn't really mean this to be like a super big mindset chat or anything like that, but I just want to give you guys like a straight up honest update of what's going on. Again, it's going to get pretty busy the next couple of weeks. I don't know how much more I'm going to upload. Like I said, I'm going to try to continue to upload for you guys. I got to work some stuff out as far as the business goes. I want to keep doing these videos for sure, because it's kind of an idea I had for a long time. But to bring it to you guys honestly, like when I moved here, this is part of the challenges where I went through, like, again, none of them are like crazy big or anything like that. They're just like a lot of small ones that stacked up upon each other. But within the first month, like, one of the challenges I dealt with, like I basically broke a $750 like camera lens that was on this camera. And so I had to like save up money to buy a brand new one because I didn't have insurance on the other one. But anyway, I basically I was going with Ken to do videos, but now I got this new lens. So I planned, honestly, I thought about it. I want to do more of these videos where I'm just sitting down. I have the camera right in front of me, and I'm just going to have a raw talk. Like I'm probably not even going to edit this down. Like if I'm being honest, like I'm just going to, like post it as it is. And I kind of like it. I don't know. It feels very, I feel like I'm actually being able to connect with you guys at some level. So if you guys want to see more of these videos, leave a like, drop a comment. I really appreciate that. I appreciate all you guys' support, like on the recent videos. Like that's been honestly so sick just to see you guys like run out the videos, like with, leave the comments. Like that's the coolest thing to me is like when I see a comment that like people are getting some sort of value from these videos, like, hey, I appreciate the way you explain this form, or like, yo, I'm gonna try this out. Like when I see you guys win and like realize something, like that makes me happy, because at the end of the day, like I coach, right? Like, and I might not be able to coach everyone in the world because I have limited time, right? But when I'm able to make some sort of difference in like someone's physique through just the advice I give, or someone's able to reflect on one of these videos from the mindset talks, like that truly like fulfills me so much more. And if you're a business owner, if you're someone who's an entrepreneur or is giving back to the world in some sort of way, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I appreciate all the help or the support, guys. And yeah, I'm gonna just leave it there. If you guys have any questions for me, again, just leave a comment. I love answering those as well. But otherwise, I am out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, guys.